family. Pastor Michael here, and we continue our discussion on healthy physical boundaries this week. I've been enjoying this series personally when it comes to the different healthy boundaries that God is desiring us to set in place for our betterment, for our well-being, and really for His glory. And one that I want to share with you today is from something and someone that I admire and respect. And I feel probably many of you that are watching or listening to this would feel the same way. But I want to share a physical boundary that was put in place by Billy Graham. And in his ministry, what he decided to do for himself, for his organization, and because of his decisions and the way that he carried himself in integrity, it influenced a lot of other ministries and ministers, even to this day. And so there's a book written about him. It's called The Leadership Secrets of Billy Graham. And in it describes some things that he put in place, him and his team, for their organization. And there were four main things that made the foundation. And so four things that they decided on when it came to biblical standard, when it came to integrity, was number one, no shady handling of money. Number two, avoiding sexual immorality. And we're going to get back to that one in a moment concerning physical boundaries. Number three, not bad-mouthing other ministers that were doing a similar work. And then number four, not exaggerating the ministry's accomplishments. Man, sounds like an awesome layout and foundation for an organization that has really stood the test of time. And he was a man that carried himself from start to finish as a man of integrity. And so number two, back to sexual immorality, he had the same heart and desire that was reflected, I believe, in the life of Jesus, and even in the instruction that Paul gave to Timothy. And you can find part of this instruction in 1 Timothy 5:2, where it says, it's this charge to Timothy, and it simply says, honor older women as mothers and treat younger women as dear sisters. And in the Passion Translation, it says, in utmost purity. And so, Billy Graham, being a married man and even seeing the unfortunate sexual morality that plagued other ministries and evangelists in his day, he recognized a need to step it up and be a reflection of Christ and be a reflection for the kingdom. And so he determined and decided at all times that he would not have an interaction one-on-one with the opposite sex. And so when it came to physical boundary, distance was a part of the order of the day, so to speak. So he wouldn't even go in an elevator by himself with another woman, would never have a one-on-one in a private room. Even when he would travel, he would have other men that would travel or even share adjoining rooms. And you can imagine, as a leader of world renown, and the way that he would travel, just the way that the enemy and the scheming and the tactics of people, could come into play to try to impede on that boundary. But he stuck to it in such a powerful way. And there's a little excerpt that I want to read just to share a little bit of the heart, because I think there's wisdom in it for us, in the way that we can even hold to something like what Billy Graham held to walk in purity, to walk in healthy physical boundaries, to where honestly we live a life above reproach, where there's no question, no suspicion. And I think it's wise of us to live in such a way, considering our culture. And so here's part of what he shared. He said, we all knew of evangelists who had fallen into immorality while separated from their families by travel. So we pledged among ourselves to avoid any situation that would have even the appearance of compromise or suspicion. So from that day on, I did not travel, meet, or eat alone with a woman other than my wife. And so we determined that the Apostle Paul's mandate to the young pastor Timothy would be ours as well. And so there's this neat story where there came a point where he always chose to do something in an uncompromising way. And so back in in 1983 is what it shares. There was a request actually from Hillary Clinton to have a private one-on-one luncheon meeting with Billy Graham. And so he communicated on that day that he'd be willing to have a one-on-one conversation. At the time, she was the wife of former President Bill Clinton, then the governor of Arkansas. But he requested, if we're going to do this, we are going to have a lunch in the middle of a restaurant in front of the public, but it can be in the center, it can be at a table, just you and I, but we're going to do this conversation in this meeting, not in private, but rather in public, surrounded by people. And so that was just a neat example of, even being requested of someone, in higher leadership or power, where, you may think, well, maybe we can make an exception and figure something else out. No, he stuck to his guns, and he was above reproach from start to finish. And so just want to encourage you today, even in your life, what are the considerations there concerning physical boundaries where we can continue to live above reproach without any compromise, any suspicion, and really pleasing the Lord and being a blessing of covering and protection to the relationships around us. You guys have a blessed day. Look forward to the way we continue in this week. But I believe that God is going to continue to lead us and grow us even in healthy physical boundaries.